Welcome to the best gambling show on the internet. This is the home of the money pick. Make sure you hit the like button. Make sure you subscribe. Week 4 live call-in show. What's up, Robert Clark? What's up, Dave? What's up, Andrew? Yes, we need to get money. We've been on fire this year. I want to say thank you to the Patreon users. I want to thank you to everyone who comments on YouTube. It's been a phenomenal year. This week is very, very difficult. Last week, every week is difficult betting the NFL because we know these spreads, they're accurate. We know we're not going to get too many advantages on games like we used to in the past. But that's what the work is for. That's why we get on here every single day of the week, and that's how we make money. We just put in more work than other people. Yo, what's up, Kai F? What's up, Tasha? What's up, Charles Tucker? Let me see his comment. Charles Tucker, what's up? I'm new here. Welcome. Welcome. What's up, Tico? Yeah, man, let's get this money. Big week coming up. Blazing hot start to the season so far. Exceeded my expectations. Normally, and I can't speak for everyone here because everyone bets a little bit differently than me. I know you follow me on some picks. You go against me on some picks, but normally, from what I've observed, from what you guys have posted over the last 2 years, and from what I've posted over the last 2 years, the first 8 weeks are feeling out process, kind of like a Mayweather fight. Like the first 5 rounds, nothing happens. And normally when it gets to week 8 and week 9, that's when we start killing it. That's when the 4-1 weeks happen. That's when the 3-0 weeks happen. That's when we get cooking. We're getting cooking earlier than normal. And I think some people are going to get spoiled. But that's why I don't want anyone doing anything crazy this week, because this week is tough. Although I see some things working in our direction, I see some things working against us, like this Lions game. Listen, I thought all week, St. Brown would play because he injured that ankle against my Vikings like really early in the game. He came back in the game and he balled out. I thought he would play. I knew Swift wouldn't play. That Hawks at Lions game is down to -3.5. We're seeing line movement on the Chiefs box. Bucks seem to have a clean injury report. I'm changing my pick officially. Bucks to win in the cover. I absolutely love that one. And, you know, the Lions Seahawks is a good example of like how this week shifts on the wheels and turns of a week, man. Just seeing that drop a lot is kind of shocking. I thought it would drop to 5 once we started hearing about St. Brown, but -3.5, it seems pretty appealing. Although you do get nervous when it drops that much. Although I had the Falcons on Patreon last week. Did we see anything from the Seahawks that we were missing? Are we missing something on the Seahawks? I've watched every game of this NFL season so far. I don't know if we're missing anything on the Seahawks. What's up, Star Videos? BR3, Barkley over 80 yards rushing. That's going to be close. I would go under, man. Although this Bears defense is unpredictable. Yeah, I agree. I'm going to have to think long and hard about that. But like Williams has been running damn hard this year, and he gets a lot of touches anyways. That O-line is good. That's why I'm excited. What's up, Vanessa? Tico, I like the Texans. I like the Texans versus Chargers too. That's a game I've been monitoring all week. We'll see if I have the balls to pull the trigger tonight. Patreon bets will be up. Like, give me to 9:30 Eastern time, because these injury reports, they don't help us all that much because a guy's going to be questionable, but he's a sure play. That's why I have to dig into everything. And like, I get really pissed off because there's a lot of like false news about injury reports. Like I heard all week Jalen Waddle and Tua would be out of the game. And then, sure enough, they're playing. And we all knew Teron Armstead was going to play. Those two I didn't have a good read on. All right. I'm going to get the Patreon questions, but we might as well get into last night's game. Doc, I would not go that far. I think we're seeing. Okay, I'll just read what he says. Doc 513, what's up, Doc? Bengals winning the AFC North lock. I don't think so, man. I don't think so. My point about that Dolphins-Bengals game, it still stands, and I think you guys understand what I was screaming about, even though the Dolphins lost the game. This Bengals team, the offense lacks a little bit of creativity. They can't run the ball at all. And let me just ask your eye test, the audience at home. Mixon is having some pretty dirty, tough runs. Like, he's not going down easy. He's picking the right hole. He's cutting. It looks like his burst is there. And 2 yards a carry, 1 yard a carry. This was against the Jets. This was against a Dolphins team that, like you guys told me, would be extremely tired last night. And then you get to the point where Dolphins are driving, and then that Tua injury happens. Now, some of you did predict that. But although he had all day to throw, and I wish he would have just threw it out of bounds, and I didn't have a problem with the hit. Also, I'm on a different mindset with how I'm thinking about that. I'm thinking about that in terms of it's bad luck. It sucked to see it happen, but I'm not getting at Mike McDaniels for that. I'm not getting at the Dolphins. I don't think the Dolphins did anything dirty. I think Tua wanted to play. I even did say in the video, I have fear of Teddy Bridgewater, Teddy Two Gloves, whatever you want to call him, going in that game. And the Dolphins did have the rock to win it. What was it, like 5 minutes left, driving at the 35, 40 of the Bengals, and then he throws like just a pathetic interception, but which makes sense. That's why you don't want to bet Teddy Bridgewater. But like I'm seeing way too much outrage about Mike McDaniel and the Dolphins today. I know we like dunking on people. Hindsight's 2020, like it's easy to dunk on them. But Tua had a lot of time to throw last night as well. Like he took a sack before, but he stood in the pocket like 4.5, 5 seconds. Ooh, I just wish that hit didn't happen, because that would have been an epic game at the end. And I'm not so sure the Dolphins don't pull that off if Tua stays in. Although that's me being selective, using the hindsight's 2020 type shit. Yeah, and you could say like the Dolphins, like I saw a lot of people saying, oh, like the Dolphins should have just took that out. If they were in the NFC, I completely agree. But the AFC has a bunch of really, really good teams. But getting back to my point, I didn't see anything from the Bengals these last 2 weeks that's going to change my opinion. Like, Ravens are the favorite in the AFC. Like, I think the Bengals got a better squad than the Ravens, but I'm telling you, this is the best Lamar Jackson I've seen in 3 or 4 years. It's the best I've seen in 3 or 4 years. And Tyreek the Hill still goes off. He could go off if one of us was fucking throwing him passes. That man is amazing, and he's on a different level. Yeah, Dan, I don't want to change the goalpost. I want to come on here and eat a little bit of crow, but we all did see that Tua injury come out. But the Bengals didn't look good. And that's what I was saying. Like, the run game's really concerning. I don't think the pass blocking's fixed yet. Xavier Howard, he got out of that game in early third quarter. They were locking them down, man. And it's difficult for this Bengals team to get the big plays. They got 2 against the Dolphins last night, but, I think they got serious problems. Okay, let me get to the Patreon questions. I'll let you guys fill up the comment section if I'm out of bounds with not getting mad at Mike McDaniel. Although that injury, dude, when his fingers went, I was like, okay, this is one of the worst I've seen. This is from Ed Fioravanti. What's up, Ed? Do you ever bet games and play? Ed from Vegas. No, not really. That was fun 2.5, 3 years ago, but all the big books kind of figured out how to glitch it now. They don't really give you any fair odds. There are some things you can exploit, but every time I get a sensation to put it in, they say, "Oh, they moved the line a little bit," or they move how much the payout's going to be. They move it a little bit just to keep you off track. If you understand what I'm saying, that's why I don't do it. And plus, I have so much money wrapped up in the 4 or 5 bets I do every week. It's better I don't touch that. Although sometimes I do get tempted to create a separate account just to do that. Make sure you hit the like button. Make sure you share the videos. Like it for me, if you want to do the live betting, you have to create a separate account and keep that away from your other money, because the live betting can be very, very unpredictable. Although there's some people who have it down to a science, but you have to practice. And I would not suggest practicing with what we normally bet. This is from Peter Knox. Do you think the Packers money line this weekend is a college fun bet? I do. I don't like using that word for such a low payout, but I do. I'm not buying the Bill Belichick kayfabe that Mac Jones is going to play. Did you guys see the video today of Mac? There was Patriots practice. The Mac was standing flat-footed, throwing it. Yeah, he didn't even move his ankle at all. He just kept doing this. I'm not buying that kayfabe from Bill. I don't think it's real. And I know Brian Hoyer really sucks. Although we have gotten surprised a lot by backup quarterbacks coming out the last 2 or 3 years. I would not be scared of that. I do put them on Patreon sometimes, but it's never fun losing those. I don't think it will happen though. If you got a big bankroll, I think that's worth it. This is from Ricardo Tapia. Hope Tua is okay. Yeah, me too, man. It looks like Tua is fine. So fine in what sense of the word? At least he didn't stay in hospital. They sent him home. We're gonna see a lot of hate for the Dolphins, but it's easy to get on them and whatnot. Everyone knew he had a head injury and shouldn't have finished the game last week and shouldn't have played this week. Well, it was an independent doctor who had nothing to do with the Dolphins. It's not like the Dolphins employed that guy who let him pass the concussion protocol. Can you fudge the concussion protocol if you're a player? Yeah, you obviously can, but I don't know, man. It's an independent doctor. Mike McDaniel's not a doctor. Tua is not a doctor. They put it in the doctor's hands, and this is what came out of it. Miami had 3 quarterbacks active tonight because they knew he wasn't right. Shame on them. I guess, man. You do see teams, if a guy's on the injury report, it's normal to activate the third guy. It wasn't anything out of the normal, and he was looking pretty good. And you saw how Theodore Bridgewater is a complete liability. They're still trying to win the game, and it's the NFL. It's not easy. It's a nasty sport. So thank you for the super chat. Thank you. Hey Lawson, I'm driving home if you want me to chime in at all. Also, I hope at least a couple rode with me on Indy last week. Yeah, man, a lot of people on Patreon were. Although the Colts, I'm not trying to rain on anyone's parade. I didn't think the Colts looked all that good against the Chiefs. Not trying to be a hater, but man. People are mad about it, but at a certain point, this is a thing we've always had. Thursday night games aren't safe. If we really care about player safety, we wouldn't have Thursday night games. Like, firstly. Secondly, we probably wouldn't play on artificial turf. We would play on real grass on every stadium if we were serious about player safety. Third, football is a brutal game. It always has been. And until they put the flags on, people are going to get hurt. It's a tough game for tough people. No one likes to hear that now because people like to live in a bubble. I've seen people sit in their room for fucking 2 years because they're scared or because bad things can happen. Bad things happen every day. There's no way to prevent it. And that type of thinking isn't good for your mental health. It's not good for your anxiety. It's not good for your body, and it's not good for your life. Life is fucking scary. It is. Playing in the NFL is scary. Playing in the NFL has consequences. No, I know no one wants to hear that. We want to say, like, let's make it safe. Thursday night's not safe, bro. And they put those players on those Thursday night games. That's why it's so damn hard to bet. It's not hard to Thursday night wouldn't be hard to bet if there was actually proper rest. It's hard to bet because the players are worn down and it's a battle of who's in worse condition. That's what it is. And it's just like it gets so frustrating that we know, like, it's a surprise to people that football's dangerous. My wife can't watch football because it's too brutal for her. That's fine. It's not for everyone. Yeah, that's where I'm at. Yeah, waking up has consequences, man. I seen a dude, barely anyone in the street today. Now, this is Brazil. People drive really, really bad. But I seen a dude today crossing an intersection with hardly no one on the road get hit by a damn car. So, you know, it's where you're at, and there's bad things that are going to happen. There's really bad things that happen every day, and we can put the bubble on or sit in our pod all day, but they're still going to happen. Okay, here we go. Wahid the Great, what's your favorite 3-team money line parlay? Packers. Let me get Bills, and I still like the Bills. I did see a few questions. I like the Bills. The rain's not scaring me. And just to get this on the record, I like Tampa Bay. I'm changing my pick from earlier this week. I saw the injury report this week, but let me throw off Tampa Bay. So we got the Packers, we got the Bills. Let me get, if we're talking money line, let me get Chargers on that. Let me get Chargers. I do think that spread is in question in that Chargers game, but I think the Chargers come back strong. Here we go. Yeah, dude, the turf is horrible. The turf is horrible. We saw Odell Beckham trying to say something about that when Sterling Shepard busted his ACL without even making a cut. Like, that's where I'm at. Like, so if we want to talk about player safety, like, then boycott the Thursday night games because they're not safe. And I didn't like seeing Tua get hurt. And my initial reaction was, why is he out there? But if I'm Mike McDaniel, a doctor says he's good to go, he's going to put him in. You saw how Teddy Bridgewater played. All right, let me get to more Patreon questions. Trevor Sloan, best bet of the week. That you got extra money on. I don't put extra money on any game. You see how good the record has been on Patreon this year. My best bet, the way I was feeling before a game, my best bet was San Fran against the Bears. That was the best I was feeling before any game of this year. And you saw how that goes. 9-4 on Patreon, but that was my best bet. But I lost. And that's going to happen because the NFL is unpredictable, especially week 1, week 2. It's really, really unpredictable. But that's why I put even money on every game. But yeah, I'll be posting the Patreon bets tonight, so you'll see what I'm thinking. Yeah, I don't want to give it away yet. And plus, still got have you seen these injury reports, Trevor? They're absolutely heinous. Juan Ruiz, I would like you to break down on your video why someone would bet the spread instead of the money line. Because the money line, the odds aren't that good. And plus, the spread gives you a 50-50 payout. So you bet 50, you get 50 back. Yes, the casino books do take a little bit of juice. So you bet 50, you get 46 back. I'm not a stranger to money line, and I have nothing against it. But I like betting the spread, and I think most people like betting the spread. Like my picks, win-loss records are great every single year, but that doesn't matter. It's about what I do against the spread. That's what pays more. That's what people want. And picking money line isn't as difficult. So yeah, that's where I'm at, and it pays more. But I wouldn't shy away from money line if you like money line. Nothing wrong with it. Nicholas Vincent. Hey, Lawson, who do you like for Survivor this week? I'm leaning Green Bay. Best gambling show on the internet. Thank you, Nick. For Survivor, it's Green Bay. It's Green Bay. That's one. If you already use Green Bay, I would get dicey with the Chargers, even though this is a podcast that respects the Texans. I would go Packers or Chargers. I think maybe I'm alone on the Chargers. I want to see the live chat. I want to see the live chat's reaction because they got to bounce back after what happened last week. And if they let Justin Herbert throw 50 times again, they damn well could lose. But I just think they're going to have some adjustments. But the injuries on defense are going to suck. But as we saw last week, Texans had the ball with three opportunities to kill that game, and they didn't do it. Celebrity Neil, I kind of like the Patriots plus the points. I was not impressed with the slightest with their win over Tampa Bay. Yeah, now it's down to like plus 9.5 though. The plus 10.5 looked appealing, although I would say there's other stuff to pick. If you put a weapon to my head and ask me who to pick, I would go Packers to cover the spread. Packers look like they're getting better, and we have to be realistic. That Packers team had a ton of wide receiver injuries, like the Bucs last week. That's where we're at, man. They're getting a little bit more healthy. I see the Packers getting a little bit better every single week. Okay, here we go. I want to see the live chat on the Houston Chargers game. Let me get to it. Yeah, Bosa's out. There's a lot of players out. Bosa's very, very concerning. Yeah, I did see Dalton starting. Was that all physical due to Jameis not being physically ready to play, or was that a little bit of both, like a tactical decision? Yeah, no, Mike Williams an absolute dog, man. Here we go. Yeah, dude, we need to get Don on here. We need to get Don. He didn't. Let me send a message to him on Patreon. Cash money. I am betting my life savings on the Cowboys. Where's all the take on the Chargers, Texans? Oh, you guys. All right, I get it. You guys don't care about that. Here we go. Let me get to Webby. Packers are out full game or half. Are you talking against the spread? The half is Packers -6. We got a guy who follows this show. He's really, really good at betting first half. Like last week, he sent the Rams -2.5 for me to bet. I probably should have shared it because that one was really good. I would probably go half. I think Packers start off hot. That -6 is coverable. Ryan, hi, I'd like to come on, mate. What is your email? I'll send you an email. Let me just write my email. Got to get through the Patreon questions first. So once we get to, usually it takes about an hour. And Lauren Kaiser, if you're around for once I finish Patreon questions, I'll get you on first. Someone was asking for you. This is from Mike on Patreon. Tell Lauren I love her. You got some fans. She's on Patreon. She's on Patreon. So, Mike, I'm sure you can run into her on there. Kevin Binsley, which players do you feel are going off on Sunday? I feel like even though he's had a quiet season, I like Thielen on the over receiving yards, whatever they got for him. It's pretty low. I like Javonte Williams for the Lions to go off. I think Terry McLaurin has a big day for the no-names. I think Herbert gets over whatever the passing yards was set for him. I saw it earlier, but my mind's blanking. And I think Derrick Henry has a good day. No, that's just off the top of my head. If I think of anyone else, I'll tell you, Kevin. Amir Doust, what's up, Amir? Who you like for survival? I answered it before, but I answer it again. I like the Packers or the Chargers. Use the Packers, but if you've used them already, you can go with the Chargers. This is kind of a complicated week. This is kind of a complicated week for it. Alistair, shout out to you, Lions and Seahawks. Lions on spread. Yeah, man, it's down to -3 now. Kind of shocked by it. -3.5 on a lot of books. I saw it -3 on mine. I get it. I saw the injury report. Still kind of surprised about it. Because have we seen anything out of the Seahawks that has made us optimistic? 11 games have spread of 3.5 or less. Yeah. And listen, the upset video, we'll see which ones I hit. We'll see which ones. I think there's some ones right for the upset. I saw a lot of people commenting, Lawson, you should have been on the Texans Chargers. I just don't see the Texans striking this week. Sounds good. Sounds good, Lauren. I see it. This was Alistair. I see -4.5. Is that good on the Lions? Wait. It's only going down from there, brother. It's only going down for there. Let me see. I got a site where I can see 10 books odds for it. Let me go check that out. 1 second. And thank you for the super chat. Okay, on Caesars, it's -3.5. On FanDuel, it's -3.5. On PointsBet, it's -3.5. On Caesars, it's -3.5. On BetMGM, it's -3.5. So wait, wait. Like sometimes I get pissed because it's not your fault, but some of your guys' books lags behind. Like last week, there was a guy whose book had the Texans at +2, went on every single book in the history of man had it at +3, and you saw how important that point was. Very fucking important. Tico, I feel good about Washington, man. I feel good. The injury report today kind of broke in their favor, but Cowboys aren't down a lot of guys. We're going to see Gallup come back, but that Washington performance against the Jags is looking a little bit better now that the Jags are dominating. Well, don't want to say dominating, but you get it. I'm feeling good about Washington still. Okay, back to Patreon. On the Alan Corrales. What's up, Alan? I plan to bet big on the Raiders. What percentage probability of victory do you give them, taking into account that next week they go versus Chiefs in primetime game? I think their percent to win, if we're just talking win and not cover the spread, like 65, 70%. I'm feeling pretty good about it. I wish I could come on here and say 85, 90%, but that's not the case. Because even as bad as the Broncos have looked, they're still dangerous. And if you told me Devontae Adams will finally get into a rhythm with Carr, it would be close to 85%. I think the Raiders respond this week. It is risky, though. And that's one of the things I'm weighing tonight before I put the bets on Patreon. I've been thinking about that all day, my man. Been thinking about it all damn day. Frito says, don't bet my Raiders this week. Something in the locker room isn't right. They haven't played bad, but they can't just put it together. I agree, but the Raiders have been close to winning every single game. I don't think that team's going to give up, but you might know something I don't. Mike NPX. So the tail end, okay, let me just, that the game Bills at Ravens at M&T Bank Stadium Sunday will pretty much have 100% chance of rain. And the old saying goes, when a game is going to be played in shit weather, play the over on the total, right? I haven't heard that one, but when games get really low on the over under, like when we saw like the Steelers Browns at 38.5 or 37, it moved to, you should go the over because it's too damn low when we start seeing preseason numbers. The Bull Mill. Hey, Lawson, let's get this money. What's up, my man? So I have two questions. How you feel about the over for the Chiefs game? And how do you feel about Lions money line? I like Lions money line, although with the spread working down to -3.5, I don't think you have to be that safe, although the hook is there for Seattle. I am worried about the Lions injuries, but I still think they're going to come out and play good. Hawkinson, I'm pretty sure he's playing. They need him. And your other question, the over for the Chiefs game, that one I don't have that strong an opinion on. Let me look at what Chiefs Bucks is for the over. Okay, one sec. Let me bring that up. It's right at the end of this page. So on every single book I'm seeing right now, the over-under is 45.5. I would go over, but I don't know the weather situation. I don't know the weather situations. I agree. That scares me a little bit. I mean, every single bet should scare you, but if I had them, like I said, you guys saw, I said money pick when it was like -5.5. When I thought they would have them, I at least thought one would play. Like, I think they can replace Swift. I was a little bit nervous to see Chark on the injury report too, because no one's talking about how big a baller that dude is. Okay, let me get to Patreon. RG, you're on Patreon, so I'll just read it from here. Lawson, how do you feel about the Eagles game with Pedersen being the ex-Eagles coach? Who knows the Eagles well? Do you feel the Eagles or Jags win? I think Eagles win, but I think Jags cover. I think it's going to be a dogfight. I don't think this Jags team is going down easy. And I really like their defensive line, although the best antidote for a good defensive line is the Eagles' offensive line. Eagles got one of the best offensive lines in the league. And I think the Jags find a way. I don't think Hurts is going off for like 350 passing yards like he's been going off. I think he slows down a bit. And I like what the Jags are doing on offense, man. Etienne is really helping this team. I want to see him get more plays. I want to see him get more touches. And James Robinson, if he's just running up the middle, that's good. Let Travis Etienne catch the ball. And the receiving core is so much better for the Jags. Trevor finally has guys who can catch the ball. Eagles defense does look like they're getting better. That's why I'm not picking the Jags upset. Okay. This is from Manuel Romero. What's up, John? Just put this teaser in. Cardinals plus 11.5. I like it. Raiders plus 7.5. I like it. UCLA plus 13. You feel like this should cash in? Yes, but I like the 2 NFL. I could not tell you about that UCLA game. I honestly have no idea. They're playing Washington tonight, correct? Haven't watched them, but Chip Kelly's the coach of UCLA. I don't know if that's a good or bad thing. I know they had one really bad year there. We'll see what the YouTube chat says about it. Mauricio Escalante. Hey, Mauricio. Hi, John. I'm new at Patreon. I want to know if you put up your bets at the time you make them. Yeah, I do. I put in one bet earlier this week. And I've been putting in one bet earlier this week. Once I see a line movement I like, and then I wait to Friday night because the injuries. But yeah, I do throw them up early in the week sometimes. Did it this week. I think I did it like Wednesday night. Did it the last 2 weeks on Monday, had the Ravens last week, got them locked in early, and the spread actually worked down to minus 2.5 for them against the Patriots. I was surprised about that. I do it if I'm really nervous about something moving. Luckily, I didn't do it this week for one specific game. Terrell Reed. Hey, Lawson, I'm having a strong feeling about your Minnesota Vikings. How are you feeling about the game? I'm fucking feeling marvelous, Mr. Reed. I'm fucking feeling good about this game. When you say Andy Dalton, I perk up a little bit, as long as we're not betting on them. Listen, the Saints struggled last week against the Panthers, and while I do think the Saints will somehow recover this year, Andy Dalton will help this Minnesota defense. What you want to do against Minnesota's defense, 3 wide receivers, hell, even 4 wide receivers, and try to work the ball short and then get your deep shot. The Vikings just sit in quarters coverage the whole game. So we're going to see a lot of running the ball, but I feel like the Vikings can at least hold their own in the interior. Kendricks will have a big game. I'm feeling good about it. I know it moved up to Minnesota -3, and I know both teams have experience playing in London, but I think Minnesota has the edge here. I'm feeling good about it, but maybe that's just the fan in me. Doesn't every fan think their team's going to win unless they're up against a juggernaut? Yeah, man. I don't think that under game goes under 40 points. I don't. I think both teams will get something going. And I think this Saints defense has been on the field so long every game that I think eventually the Vikings will get something going. 40 is awful low, even though Saints have had problems, Vikings have had problems. Make sure you hit the like button. Make sure you subscribe. Getting through the Patreon questions. This is from Alejandro. What's up, Alejandro? Do you still like the Cardinals in the pouring rain in North Carolina, considering the rushing game is trash and the Panthers have Christian McCaffrey? Yeah. Yeah. You're 100% right, Alejandro. Like that Cardinals rushing game sucks. And I know people like James Conner. He recovered from cancer. He's a good dude. Yes, that's all true. But their rush game does suck. And they're really, really unorganized on offense right now. But this Panthers team has serious issues. I'm still liking the Cardinals. I'm not changing the pick. Whether it will be a bet or not, you'll find out tonight. But I agree with you. I did see Christian McCaffrey has a pretty nasty thigh injury. He's probably going to play, but we'll see what he does. This Panthers O-line isn't necessarily good, and this Panthers offense isn't necessarily good. Okay, here we go. Let's get to Johnny Gonzalez's question. What's up, Lawson? How are you feeling about this week? I'm feeling cautiously optimistic. Feeling good, although some of these injury reports and line movements are getting under my craw a little bit. Can you give the people some insight on this bum fight game? Chicago against the Giants. My best bet this week is Bears +3. I actually think the Bears cover that. I actually do think they cover that. Here's another look I think everyone should consider. Green Bay Packers team total under 25.5. Let's get this money. I'll be in the chat. Let's talk about it. Yeah, the team total. Let me just. I don't like this as much as your under first half bet that you posted on Patreon. with the Cowboys Giants. That was absolutely majestically done. But I do see the Patriots defense coming out good. The reason why they give up so many points has been because of the turnovers, but they're actually playing pretty good if you look at all things considered. If you get 2 interceptions against you and one goes to the end zone, that's going to be difficult as a defense, and you're going to look worse on stats than you actually are. And the Packers offense, they're not getting too many big plays. So I agree with the methodology there. And for that Bears-Giants game, this Bears defense has been stingy. Now, the Texans did have opportunities to win that game last week, and the Dougie Mills did get a few 20 to 30-yard passes. But this Bears defense is really consistent, and you know what they're going to do? They're going to sit and cover 2. But this Giants offensive line has problems. I actually got to give the Bears the advantage in this game. I do. I like it. This is one I would not bet, but the Bears actually seem to be getting a little bit better. And if you give me Daniel Jones or Justin Fields, I'm going Justin Fields. Even though Daniel Jones has better weapons, he should be better, I'm going Justin Fields. Justin Fields doesn't really get much of a chance to put up stats. Okay, I saw some people asking about the Steelers on Patreon. I still like the Steelers. Okay, let me get to the next Patreon question. This is from Robert. I have 2 questions. That's fine, my man. When will we be known if YT pick on over? I'll let you guys know I'll let you know about that over Chiefs Buccaneers, because I didn't think about it all week. I'll let you know. I'll make a post when I post the bets tonight. I got you, my guy. Second question. Any thoughts why Vikings went from -2.5 to -3, or even the -3.5? Is there any chance to go back on -2.5? I don't think there's any chance. If what I read is true, Andy Dalton is starting for the Saints. And if that's true, it's staying at -3, -3.5. It's not going back down. The money line isn't that bad, but it's not the best payout. It's not what it should be. I don't think it's going back, man. I don't think it's going back. And a lot of people are really low on the Saints. A lot of people are trying to bury the Saints. I wouldn't necessarily bury them yet, but they're getting close. Okay, here we go. Montgomery out for the Bears is a big deal. Although I do think he is can I just be honest about Montgomery? A bit overrated. Like, I don't think he's this nasty, like, top 5 running back like some people are saying. He doesn't have that explosion. Mike 87. Do you like the Packers at -9 against a Hoyer-led Pats team? If I had to bet the spread in that game, I would. That's not going to be on the Patreon list this week. Because what I've seen out of the Patriots defense has impressed me at least a little bit this year. And while I do think the Packers are going to play good and they're getting better on offense, the under 25.5, I think, is very, very accurate for their offense. But Hoyer is terrible. Give me the Packers -9. Okay, here we go. No Limit. What's up, man? Thoughts on this? Vikings money line. I guess it's my own team. I obviously think they're going to beat the Saints with the way the Saints played against the Panthers, but teams do bounce back in this league. Over under 54 Lions Seahawks. Yeah, man, I got the under on this Lions Seahawks game. I've been on it all week, even though it goes against conventional wisdom. I see you tease that a little bit. I'm going under the 54. I like it. Under 52.5 Falcons Browns. Good question. Chargers plus 2.5. I like that. I'm the under 49 in the Cardinals-Panthers game. Be careful with their Cards-Pants game. But it sounds good, and I don't think we're going to see much out of the Browns offense. Falcons have been explosive on offense, but we know the Browns can play better defense than the Seahawks. Yeah, man, that's still going to be hard to hit. One of those isn't going to go your way. Okay, here we go. This is from B More. 3-team 10-point teaser. Baltimore plus 13. The range should help. Although if there's a team that can blow a team out in this league, it is the Bills. Although I'm loving what Lamar Jackson's doing this year. I think this is the best we've seen from Lamar Jackson. Jags plus 16.5. Okay. Packers money line. What do you think? I like it, but a 10-point teaser, everything looks alluring. I do think with teasers, I try to avoid games that could be a blowout. Whether it's a 5% chance, 3% chance, it turns into a blowout. The Baltimore Jags, I don't think Baltimore's getting blown out. Let me be real about that. But the Eagles have blown out 2 straight pretty decent teams, 2 straight weeks. The Jags could be a little bit dangerous. I got them to cover, so I can't shoot holes in it that much. But it wouldn't have been the teaser I chose for 10 points. Jermaine G, welcome. What's up, John? What do you think about the Eagles' O-line against the 2-1 Jags? I think that's one of the most interesting matchups of the weekend. I really do. I think the Eagles O-line gets the better of them. Although the Jags D-line has some really good depth. Like a guy who's playing really good for this Jags D-line off the bench is Arden Key. Like he's coming out, he's balling. Trayvon Walker looks damn good. Should Dougie P coming back to Philly equal more motivation for the Eagles to get the W? I don't think so. I think the Eagles are going to come in here like anything, but I do think Dougie P is going to come out with some tricks up his sleeve. Man, I like what Pedersen's done with this Jags offense. I like how he's using Etienne. I like having Trevor being able to throw the Christian Kirk. I got no complaints about this Jags offense. They're going to make us a lot of money this year. They already made us money with that Colts bet this year. I'm staying away from this game, but I am feeling good about the Jags, even though the Eagles look like a goddamn juggernaut. I've liked the Eagles since the beginning of the year, but even I'm shocked by how the Eagles are playing. This is from Paulie. Forget about it. Hey, John, is the Jacksonville defense for real? If so, are they contenders in the AFC? And is it a decent bet to have them win division or conference? Money, 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 money. Jags to win AFC South. I said it last week. I'm going in on it. I'm digging in on this trench. It's risky. You got the Colts. You got the Titans. It is the Jacksonville Jags. But I've been waiting for an opportunity to throw that out there. I'm throwing it out there. Throwing it out there, man. I do think the Jags defense is for real, but I don't think their secondary is good enough for me to call them dominant. I still think there's only about 3 or 4 defenses that are dominant in this league. But after those 3 or 4, the Jags have to be in that discussion for me. But their secondary is a bit vanilla. Their secondary does have some issues. That's why I wouldn't say they're in the elite category of defense. But I got Jags to win this AFC South. Unless we see something drastic from the Colts, I don't see how they're not going to hit on that. And we've been winning money with the Jags the last 2 or 3 years to cover spreads. But I actually think them covering spreads will churn into wins. Here we go. Let me get to the late Patreon questions coming in. Then I'm going to get some people on. Yeah, man, I got excited about that Jags money pick. I've been waiting to say it since about 2 weeks ago. Finally, we got an excuse. Sam Kleinsorge, what's your favorite player prop tonight? Yeah, no game tonight. Yeah, what the fuck? Am I in a different one? Okay, I'm in a different one. Sam Kleinsorge, who's your favorite anytime touchdown this week? Mike Williams, Chargers, I like that. Javonte Williams, Lions, I like that. Waller, Raiders, if you want to get something with a little bit of better odds, and give me Leonard Fournette for the Bucks. But like I said, those are what I'm seeing. Also, let me get someone for that Vikings Saints game. On a long shot bet, give me Adam Thielen. Or if you like Irv Smith more, we're starting to see some crazy bracket coverage for Justin Jefferson. Thielen's got to be able to get in and cook a little bit. We saw him cook the second half against the Lions. We know he's not what he used to be 2 years ago, but give me one for Thielen. He got one last week. Here we go. Crew 60, like the Rams, bro. Somehow they find a way. I don't. But that Rams game, I'm not going anywhere near that. That game is chlamydia to me. I'm not going anywhere near that. 49ers have been bad this year. There's no other way to put it. You guys see why I was defending Trey Lance all offseason and even after that massive L at the Bears. You guys can understand why I was defending Trey Lance. This Jimmy G, man, that safety play last week was about as bad as it gets. There's not much worse than it. Like Dan Orlovsky has an excuse. He was a backup, a third stringer for a reason. That might have been the worst thing ever. Okay, I got way more Patreon questions coming in. Okay, Moneyline Repo. Big Lawson, love, bro. Thank you, my man. I'm glad to say you were right last week. Chiefs-Eagles parlay did have me sweating. They're going to have you sweating, bro. Rodgers has only scored one touchdown in the second half all season. Do you really think he can cover a 10-point spread? I do, but like Johnny Gonzalez mentioned, that under 25.5 and a half for the Packers, it has weight. Vegas is thinking what you're thinking, and other people are thinking what you're thinking. I do think they cover it. Now that's down to 9.5 due to Brian Hoyer being booty, for lack of a better phrase. Kona, K-O-A. I love this. Kona. Can you picture a world where the Bears are 3-1? Wow. Yes, unfortunately. Do you give any consideration to Eberflus and his ability to motivate Bears D against an awful Giants O? I do, Conan. I do. Eberflus has had these dudes playing tough, man. And I don't like what we've seen out of the Bears offense and them not putting people around Justin Fields. But if we're just talking about this defense, I do like it. But they also play offensive football to make the defense look good, if you understand what I'm saying. Yeah, I could see Bears winning this turnover battle. They lost it last week against the Texans and still pulled that one out because of, like you said, Eberflus's defense. It was a push, though. Yeah, I see what you're thinking about the Bears. And the more the week went on, the more I'm starting to think that. And I'm not in love with the Giants. And it has nothing to do with Dabble. It's just this Giants team is bad, bro. Crew 60. Vikings pick. It's London. I know. Yes. Although, like, I can't give you a good opinion because I always think my Vikings are going to win. That's why I don't bet them. Although I did have Lions to cover last week on Patreon. I try not to bet their games, but it's looking good for the Vikings. When you say Andy Dalton, I say bet the other team. Quincy Browning Morgan, how do you feel about Pitt -3.5? I feel pretty good. It's a game I've been monitoring all week. It's a game that, that hook is there. It's a reality. That hook isn't going away unless you buy a point. But I don't think Zach Wilson is the guy you guys all think he is. Like, yes, it's funny. He slept with someone, an older woman's you know, yeah, like he screwed a cougar for lack of a better phrase. But outside of that, what have we seen from film from him? What have we seen from this kid that gives us any sort of confidence? I've watched every game the man's played. It doesn't look good. And that's why I'm going Pitt. Mike Tomlin with the extra 4 days will be a factor. Know why? I know, but the Steelers defense still has ballers. Minka Fitzpatrick's balling out of control this year. I mean, no one, we're talking about all these damn good defensive players this year. No one seems to be mentioning him. And Heinz Field is a difficult place to play. And this Jets offensive line is terrible. Now, I know they got bad luck, and in training camp, they lost 2 starters. One guy they paid really heavily at left tackle, but this Jets offensive line is garbage, man. Although the skill positions are better than what it's been in the past. Marcy, I don't understand why the NFL can't make the schedule to give the bye week before they play Thursday night games. I agree. If they really want to roll with the Thursday night games and then promote player safety in the same sentence, then that's the only logical solution. That's the only thing that for me is truly safe. I'm not going to come down on the Dolphins that are NFL. You guys heard my opinion earlier in the video, but the Thursday night games, I feel like are a liability. And even though I love watching them, I love talking to you guys about them, they probably shouldn't be on the schedule. Now, if they were able to do a Saturday night game or Friday night game, I'd be for it, but they can't because they want to respect high school football on Friday and they want to respect college football, and I completely get it. But nothing's better than when we get to like late December, early January, when we got the 2 games on Saturday. I love that. But at least we get some London football this week, getting up early. Okay, this is from Derek. Hey, John, which 2 games don't you like on this 7-point teaser? Buffalo +4, I like it. Philly plus a point and a half. I like it. Chargers plus a point and a half. I like it. Green Bay -2.5. I like it. KC +6. Take the KC out there. Keep the Rams. But those first 4 teams are probably what I would roll with. It's just you got to gauge, who do you fear more? Jags playing the Eagles or the 49ers playing the Rams. But I like 4 out of the 5. And I like that Green Bay game. I just don't like the KC +6, even though they probably will keep it close. That's probably going to be a field goal game. Let's be realistic. Okay, I'm going to take a quick break. I'll be back. We'll see if Lauren wants to come on. We'll get some people on. I'm going to get to every YouTube question. So when I come back, just leave a comment in the YouTube chat box and I'll answer your question. I'll be right back. Thank you. Hit the like button. ciao, ci non chegando. Okay, I'm back. I'm back. Thank you, everyone, for being here. It's been a good first hour. Patreon questions were good. The audience has a very high IQ on this channel. That's why I like it. That's why I like coming on here. Okay. Yeah. Thank you, man. Thank you. Thank you. I enjoy doing it. I like enjoy reading the comments all week too. Wahid, what's up, my man? What's up? I like Washington no names this week against Cooper Hush. Yeah. Um, I like that too. I haven't changed my mind on it. I thought maybe I would, and a lot of people were cautioning me on that, which I appreciate because betting is dangerous. Betting is not easy, but nothing's changed my mind. I did sit through the Washington film last night after the Dolphins game, and yes, there are some things to be concerned about, but I think they bounce back this week. Offensive line should look a little bit better. Charles Leno should play, so I think we got some movement. Yeah. So, all right, let's get to some questions on YouTube. Um, Send me an email if you want to come on. Let me just see. I think Lauren wanted to come on. Let me see where she's at. Where she's already at poker. Okay, show link. Okay. And there's a guy named Campbell. He's been asking to come on for like a good 3 weeks. Um, I'm going to try it, although I'm getting some vibes from him. Okay, here we go. Broncos going to lose. I do think that. With that game, you always worry about a response from the Broncos. You do worry about it, and as bad as Russell America Wilson has looked, I still respect that man. We still know that man has magic in his veins. But also, eventually, aren't the Raiders going to win a close game? Um, it just seems like they can't put a full 4 quarters together, but it doesn't seem like the Broncos can put a full quarter together. I guess that's the difference with the game. And I don't take much from that 49ers Broncos game. That was about as ugly as it gets. And I don't think there's much to build on. I really don't. Tasha, I can't trust Steelers. Trubisky is garbage. You're correct. He is garbage, although he's got really, really good wide receivers. This is from Brandon Chong. What do you think on Titans money line, Mayans money line parlay? I actually like that. Um, I I didn't go as far to say the Titans will upset the Colts, but Titans plus 3.5 with this hook is really alluring. And I feel like that game is going to be decided by a field goal. You pick who you think's going to win it. For me, I don't really care who wins it. I think the Titans take plus 3.5, but I think the Titans will be in position to win that game. The Colts didn't answer my questions last week. I wasn't able to watch the Colts Chiefs game live due to us having 3 or 4 bets at 1 o'clock. But I did watch that game this week, and like I repeated on every single video, I feel like the Chiefs lost that game more than the Colts won it. And can we talk about how shady that Chris Jones 15-yard penalty was after they already stopped the Colts? You remember that last drive of the game? That was some like Tim Donaghy type stuff. That was rather troubling. That was very, very troubling. Okay. Okay, here we go. Okay, I'm going to just keep ripping. Alex, over in Jags Eagles, a money pick. Let's check what it's at right now. I'm pretty sure I had it going over on the video. Over, under 45 and a half. Yeah, I got it going over. I got questions about this Jags secondary. That's really the only weakness on their defense. Linebackers are good. You got 6-7 dogs who rotate on the defensive line. Also, I like what this Jags offense is bringing to the table. So I think Hurts and these two damn good wide receivers have a dance partner. So I'm going over there. I feel pretty good about it. Lauren, I sent you an email. Man, my throat. Okay, where's my vape? Okay. The Sport 78. Thoughts on Seahawks, Commanders, Cardinals money line. I like the last two. I don't think Seahawks beat the Lions. Was there something you saw against their game against Atlanta? I think Lions have been one of the better teams in this league who has gotten bad luck. Now, could Dan Campbell have handled that late game situation against the Vikings better? That's fine. But are you seeing something out of the Seahawks that I'm not? Because it's possible. They played Atlanta tough. Atlanta really should have killed that game out. But I'm just not seeing it from this Seahawks defense. And I know St. Brown and Swift are out, but Hawkinson, Chark, a damn good offensive line. Although I like how the Seahawks defensive line has battled this year. I do think they get worn down in this game, and I think the Lions get the over rush yards, whatever that's set at. But yeah, those other two I like. I agree, Derby. I just didn't see the value there. What's up, Marcelo? I hope everything is good with you, my man. Thanks for coming on. Thanks for coming on the live show, man. Wahid the Great. Football is bigger than stats. Yes. But it kind of goes back to what I was saying early in the show. Life is complicated. Life is dangerous. People like a stat that can explain everything in a world where that's extremely complex, and not everything can be quantified, especially NFL. NFL is one of the worst sports for the stat bettors to bet. That and soccer. They do a little bit better in baseball. Okay. Lauren, where's your... Okay, I see your email. I'm going to get you on. Okay, I finally found your email. Okay. You're missing chromosomes. What? Are you saying I'm autistic? Or I got Down syndrome because I got big cheeks? Okay, here we go. Yeah, Lions with... I get it. But like I said, if you see something out of the Seahawks, you do it. But the Lions have looked pretty good. But Brown's an absolute dog. There was a lot of people telling me Brown was this damn good before the year started. I thought he was pretty good. But, man, this guy is borderline top 15 receiver in the league at this point. So I see what you're saying. Those guys aren't plug and play. I know the media likes to act like an elite or very good wide receiver is replaceable. Tyreek the Thrill Hill is the definition that's not true. He's made Tua look like fucking Brett Favre this year. And the money that these elite wide receivers like A.J. Brown, Tyreek the Thrill Hill prove it. The stats guys always said, oh, wide receiver doesn't matter. You plug them and play them. If you got 3 average wide receivers, that's better than 1 elite receiver. No, it's not. No, it's not. And that shows that they never even stepped close to a football field. You know, I hate hearing the stats guys do that. They act like they reinvented the damn sport. Bill, I will be back on the soccer grind next week. I've just been devoting everything to the NFL. So I will be back on the soccer grind. I should have 3 or 4 bets up on Patreon next week. I'm still watching it, but like I said, I've just been watching so much NFL film, which is what we should all be doing because early season has a ton of surprises. I actually am in the Circa Survivor contest. And I haven't made up my mind yet. But yeah, go on Patreon. You'll see my best picks. How's it going?
What is up, everybody? Oh, that's kind of.
You're feeling in the Halloween vibe.
Yeah, that's my husband. He did some decorating today. He's got I don't know how to. You can see he's got the pumpkins and stuff going. So
let's get straight. Sorry to cut you off. Let's get straight to this game in London. Firstly, I want to say, even though I have lots of people in other countries who watch this show, and I don't want to be a hypocrite as someone who lives in Brazil, even though I'm from the United States, putting the hypocrisy aside, I don't like these London games.
I hate them.
I don't think we should be doing them. Although football at 9:30 is really, really great. So what do you think about your Saints going into this game against the Vikings?
Okay, well, I mean, if it's one thing that I've always said before, I don't bet my own team, number one. And number two, I don't bet games in London. So we can go with both of those factors. I'll be staying away from it. You know, I have some feelings about injuries every which way. You know, we're going with Andy Dalton, and you know, a lot of people are going to say that, oh, it's Andy Dalton, and you know, what is wrong with my camera? Can you guys see me?
We can. It's a lot better than it was before, so everything's good.
Oh, okay, good. There we go. So you can say what you want about Andy Dalton, but I would say Andy Dalton at this point right now is better than a hurt, banged up Jameis. You know, when you put the two together, Jameis is a better quarterback all day. I mean, he's a starter for the reason, but it's obvious that he's hurt. It's obvious that he's, you know, in pain, and and he's showing signs of old school Jameis, you know. So I would take a healthy quarterback versus your banged up starter any day, you know. So do I think they're going to win? God, who the hell knows? Who knows anything about these damn Saints right now? Do I think that they might be better off since they have a healthy quarterback? I do. I don't think they're going to win, but I would take a healthy quarterback versus one that's banged up any day. You know, Jameis is showing these fractures in his back. A back problem is serious. That's your torso. You know what I mean? Like, that's your whole center of gravity. That's your torso. It has everything to do with your arms, your legs. So, you know, he's showing signs of that problem. Do I think Andy Dalton's a solution? No, but at least he's healthy, you know? So I'm going to go
So
with
it's official because I just heard it from my Instagram and my YouTube. Although they did say like Waddle would be
Mhm.
out like on Tuesday, like
Yeah,
so is it official?
right. So yes, it is official. I mean, at
Okay,
least from what I've seen.
okay, because that's one game I'm not looking at because I'm not going to bet the Vikings. You
Oh,
know,
that's right. It's my team versus your team.
yeah, I know. But I'm happy it's at 9:30.
That is going to
'Cause
be fun. Like, you know, you can watch it in your jammies and, you know,
yeah,
have your coffee or whatever. You don't even have to be ready for the day. You can just kind of hang out and watch the game and whatever the case may be.
yeah, and
So,
we'll see the field conditions. It seems like
yeah,
this
it's Tottenham,
last week,
right?
yeah, like because remember they've had the games at Wembley and the fields were absolutely atrocious. Like it makes the
Yeah.
Bears Stadium look good. But yeah, let's get to another game. What game do you like the most this week?
Well, I mean, I had some ugly, you know, Lauren locks last week. They pulled through. They were ugly. They pulled through.
That's
Um,
betting. You're gonna have to swap.
Yeah, the indie one was my, you know, I told you, I told everybody you're gonna have to stomach this. It's an ugly one. I said, and my exact words were, don't take Kansas City as a survivor this week. You might get your hearts broken. Um, so that was last week. This week, you know, we've been riding on Atlanta. At least I have. I've been riding on
Oh,
Atlanta.
I have.
Yeah, you have too. For the first 3 weeks of the season, but not this week.
What? Why? What? I'm not betting it, so I'll put
Mhm.
that out there. All right, but why? The Miles. I did see Miles Garrett got marked questionable
Oh,
after
his
that car
accident.
accident. I was like,
Yeah.
oh, I felt like that would help Atlanta, and Atlanta's been getting a good push on the offensive line. But I agree. Eventually, Mariota's going to go down a level. I would pick the Falcons though. But tell us why you got the Browns.
Here's my opinion with the Browns. Cleveland's 10th with passer rating. Atlanta's 15th. I think that, you know, Atlanta has Cordell Patterson, who's been absolutely amazing. But Cleveland's got this two-headed monster that can run the ball of Kareem Hunt, Nick Chubb, both, one or the other, either which one, however you look at it. I think it's going to be too much for Atlanta. I just think it's going to be too much for them to stop.
I get it. I get it. And so that's your best bet of the week.
I mean, it's definitely one that I'm considering to be. I'm with you on the Bears. I don't like teams that have to go to London the following week. So
And maybe we're all overreacting because we had to watch that Giants Cowboys game on Monday night, but I don't think we were. And the Giants hype did get a little bit out of control, especially when you consider their game against Tennessee, how bad they looked in the first half, and just the level of teams they played. I agree. And the Bears, they are the ugliest team in this league, man. No doubt about it. Like
they are, you know, they're the most boring. That's for sure. They're very.
Lord, I feel like I've watched every single Bears game. Okay. I feel like they have 18 offensive plays in their playbook.
Not even.
Like, am I fucking crazy? Like, I know they'll change formations, but I literally think they got like 18 offensive plays. Like, we've seen Miami and Buffalo come with like, what? How big is their playbook? I've seen the Bears maybe do like 16, 17 different plays.
And if they're going to be so one-dimensional, you can probably do that against the Giants. So,
yeah, what, dude? Okay, I know. Like, and when I'm looking at this Giants defense, they blitz for no fucking reason. And like, okay, let's just transition to another game because this is where I want to go. Washington at Cowboys. I'm kind of out on a limb here with Washington, but like Washington's not going to be sending 8-man blitzes that are predictable where Cooper Rush can just slang it down underneath. Am I crazy, or is Dallas going to run the ball on him? I don't think Dallas runs the ball on him.
You asked for my best bet. It's Washington. It's the upset. Washington money line.
Oh, money line. You're
They're gonna win.
Like fuck the plus 3.5.
They're gonna win on the field.
Washington. All right, I'll let you talk. Yeah, tell me why.
So I think so. Let's see. Next, let me see. Dallas just got off of a Monday night game, right? And I think so. Cooper Rush, he's not terrible. I mean, but he's not. If you looked at any of their games, are they really? Is their defense winning it, or is Cooper Rush winning it?
Defense,
right? So Carson Wentz, last week was this craziness with him going back to Philly and all that crazy. I think he responds. He doesn't have to be as emotionally involved in this game. It's a divisional game. If they want to stay in the mix again. So like last week, we talked about teams that were like, if they don't win, like Cincinnati, if they don't win, you might as well kiss it goodbye. Washington needs to win. They need to win.
Yeah, I agree, and I don't think they're as bad as that Eagles performance. I just think we got to tip the cap to the Eagles a little bit.
Yes,
and I don't think they're off. Listen, their offensive line's not going to win battles pass blocking against Dallas's, but I don't think it's going to be as ugly. I think they run it. And another thing I want to just say about the Cowboys, I could be proved wrong this week, but I don't think their run game's all that good. Even if you look at that Giants game, okay, they had 2 or 3 big runs because this Martindale guy sends 8-man blitzes to the right side. They run it to the left side. No one's even over there. Like, I'm just saying, teams aren't going to do that. I'm just sick. Like the Cowboys offensive line, like I know people like to live 3-4 years ago, but it isn't all that good.
Yeah, and we said the same thing about Cincinnati. They were in a must-win situation last week. If they didn't win, they might as well kiss it goodbye, especially the division that they were in. And they did. They won. They won very easily. It was against Joe Flacco. So at this point in time right now, Washington's a divisional game. So Carson Wentz has played in this division for a long time, whether it's with Philly or Washington now. I think that the Washington defense will be able to exploit some of the weaknesses that they are missing with Dak. Now, I know this Michael Gallup might be back or whatever, but he's going to be on a pitch count. He's not going to be in there for all the play. It's just he's not going to. I don't see Dallas on a short week in a divisional game making miracles again. I just don't. So I'm very high on Washington this week.
Yeah, and some people were asking for your opinion. I don't know if this is going to be one game you were looking to get into, but we always seem to talk about the 49ers. So someone was asking your opinion about Rams and 49ers.
My opinion? Oh, because of Jimmy G?
I think so.
Is that why?
Maybe they were doing it sarcastically, but I don't think so.
So I want no part of this game.
That's where I'm at. Like, it's just like, why can't we just watch this? We need more information.
Same thing.
I don't know why we can't agree on that.
Yeah, same thing with the Packers in Tampa last week. I wanted no part of that game either. I don't want any part of this. I want to watch it and enjoy it. I'm going to pull for San Fran. I like them at home. When push comes to shove, and you're trying to look at 2 teams that are probably equal, I think you go with the home team. But I mean, that's not even, they're the favorite. But I'm not really high on even taking a penny on this. So I'm just not.
And so let's just shift games. What do you think about Bills Ravens?
So I'm from upstate New York. The Bills are going to respond from last week, but Lamar Jackson getting points at home. How can you not love that?
I don't know. I think people are using the range just to rally around the Ravens for this.
I mean, I don't care about the rain. Both those teams are used to shit weather. You know, you got Baltimore, Maryland, and Buffalo, New York, and rains and snows, and any team that's used to that shit. Why? Just because it's the beginning of October, they're used to that. So I don't think that even has a factor.
Yeah. All right. Well, I get it. Like Lamar's been better than this is the best version of Lamar Jackson I've seen, even during his MVP year.
Yeah.
Like he's making good throws. Bills defense is getting some people back. I'm not changing the Bills pick, but we can just talk about this. I said earlier this week, I'm going to say it again. We could see some things change with Cincinnati, but I think Ravens win that division, and I'm kind of surprised I got to this point because I thought it was going to be Cincy.
I think it's still going to be Cincy. Maybe. I mean,
well, yeah. Tell us why.
I mean, I think Cincy is, for one thing, out of all of these teams, are the healthiest. Granted, they've needed more time to gel together. They had a lot of new players this year. When it came, they had a lot of new players, young, drafted, just a lot of new inexperience to the NFL players. And it's taken them some time to get it together. But they were beating up on Miami. I mean, that was a sad situation last night.
Beating up.
Well, if you look at it, they were definitely giving them a huge run for their money, and they were ahead. So Tua went out really fast. Tua went out really fast. So it's not a fair assessment because he was only there for, I mean, it was the first quarter, wasn't it?
No, it was like second quarter, I believe. Okay, let me paint it. Okay, so here's what I was saying. I think they were up 1 point. Dolphins get in the field goal range. Hit happens on Tua. Block field goal. Fine. That Bengals should have took over that game from then on. Next drive, Xavier Howard goes off. So we're down to 4th, 5th, 6th string corner. Fair enough. That's Thursday night football, not making excuses. Then we get, Teddy Bridgewater goes down before the end of the half. They walk into the half leading. And then, Bengals get 2 big plays finally in the early third, late fourth quarter, finally 2 big plays. And then Teddy Bridgewater has them driving with 4:50 left in the game, and he just completely airmails one. I don't know. Here's what I'm worried about with the Bengals. I'm worried about their ability to run the rock because I'm not seeing Joe Mixon fall off. He's having hard, dirty runs. And like you said, 4 new offensive linemen, it's a factor. Offensive line, it's 7-8 weeks to gel. We know that, but I don't know. I thought they'd be better. I thought this offensive line would be better too. It's early to tell, but
I'm not gonna disagree there. Here's my thing: you can't beat team. You can't just win with field goals. And they were constantly, Miami it was field goal after field goal after field goal. Now, since they're the king of field goals, but they were at least getting in the end zone, so at points. And props to Teddy B for getting him down there. And, granted, he didn't make everything, but he kept him in the game. So when I say beating them up, you guys make it sound like I was saying they were blowing them out. No, I'm not saying anybody was blowing anybody out. I was saying they were getting beat when it mattered. That's where I'm going with this.
Yeah, well, Teddy, we know what Teddy is. Last game,
I don't dislike Teddy. Oh,
I dislike him. I think he's he's gotten some of the best media pub of maybe any NFL player in terms of favorability for doing very little. He covered a lot of spread with Minnesota, handing the ball off. And people seem to forget about that. It wasn't because of him. We all got sympathy for him because of that injury, but.
And don't you feel every time he gets hit, doesn't your skin crawl? Think, oh God, this might be the one where he doesn't get back up,
Yeah. Although Teddy didn't play that bad last night, I just knew fourth quarter drive, he comes in, tried to win the game. That's what you get. Credit to the Bengals though. Last game, player prop video next week. We will start it next week. I'm serious this time. We'll start it next week. I'll be in contact with you when to get you on. So last game before you go play poker, what do you think about Bucks versus Chiefs?
Again, I want no part of it. There's other games that you can, at least I don't have a side there. I mean, I want the Chiefs to win. I think they respond, but I think, Tampa's got their people back, right? Evans was only suspended one game. And Godwin, well, who the hell really knows, but he's supposed to come back. So if they got is that game in Tampa? Are they keeping it in Tampa?
I believe so, because the hurricane passed under there, and it's
right.
More like
yeah, we dodged a bullet here in Florida. We dodged a lot of bullets where we are. So, unfortunately for those that are south of us, it was pretty devastating and really sad. And it's going to be a while before all of that is back. But yeah, so I guess since Tampa really wasn't in, the destructive zone, I guess they are keeping it there. Again, you want to go with you got Mahomes and Brady. I mean, who doesn't love that show?
Well, I'm excited for it. I'm just
you have a side?
Got some receivers to throw to. So
yeah, you have a side here. Are you on?
Oh, I'm thinking Bucks.
Yeah, I can see it. I
can pick, and people don't like me changing my mind. But like sometimes we got to look at injury reports. Sometimes I do watch games throughout the whole week. I don't have 16 TVs going all at one time, unfortunately. But yeah, like I like Bucks. I think the Colts' performance was worrisome from the Chiefs for a wide variety of reasons. Now, I know Travis Kelce had that catch in the end zone to go up 24-13. And the Chiefs did get that stop at the end of the game. Then we saw that phantom flag that, for me, isn't getting enough media publicity. But credit to the Colts. Colts have won games like that for us before. So that's kind of what the Colts do. But for me, man, I still think the Chiefs are missing Tyreek Hill. And this Tampa Bay defense, we talked about it last week. I talked about it with other people. I think this is the best reiteration of this Tampa Bay defense. Like, I think they got just the most dogs they've had.
Yeah, and if they can get Leonard Fournette going, it'll be rough on the Chiefs. It really will be. Now, I wanted to ask you a question because I was listening. Can somebody please explain and help me if I'm missing something? Okay, because I'm very sorry to all of my friends in Vegas right now, but that team is hot trash. Okay, so I'm just saying I don't want to be that person that says that, but I know they're at home, but please tell. And I know the Broncos have not looked great, but is this somebody's best bet? The Vegas, who's 0-3. Now I know we're gonna go with my saying right here. They're in like a must win, right?
But they are playing the Broncos. They're not playing the 86 Bears.
Mm-hmm.
And like for me, man, I'm looking at that game. The Raiders aren't far away. They really aren't far away. Like, I know the results have been terrible. But at a certain point, you got to dig a trench because I felt listen, I feel like that should be a top 10 offense at the very least. So maybe you're right. Maybe this whole thing is fucking sour. Maybe Josh McDaniel doesn't know what the fuck he's doing. But for me, Denver has a guy coaching them who doesn't know what he's doing. And I don't think Carr, for all the criticism he gets, is going to run out of an end zone.
And even when they're ahead, they find a way to lose. I just don't.
That's the issue. So try not to overreact, but I am a little bit worried about them, even though this game is set up on a fucking tee for them and all they need to do is push this bad boy home. There are doubts, unfortunately.
There are, and I can't be, I want to be on them. And I said they're hot trash. Let me refrain from that because I'm going to get some hate mail, I'm sure. I don't want to say they're hot trash. I want to say that they're physically incapable at pulling through. That's my problem. And they haven't really, shown me that they could be a favorite. I don't.
Well, they do get the points for being home.
Being home.
And I felt like Denver, the reason why I didn't want to put San Fran on Patreon last week wasn't because of anything to do with the game. It's just because Mile High is a legit home field advantage in this league due to the altitude. But for me, like you said, Raiders got a hard time pulling through. Last year, they won a lot of close games. This year isn't going their way, but these games shouldn't be that close. The Tennessee first half was one of the worst first halves I've seen a team play, but I do think they get some explosive plays. I'm worried about Devontae Adams being involved in the game. I'm worried about that.
Somebody just wrote me and asked me about the Cleveland-Atlanta game. They wanted me to go into a little bit more.
Sure. And then I got to get someone else on. So
okay. So let me quickly just say my favorite play of that game is the over. And both of those teams are 3-0 on the over. So they both can score. So if you really want my absolute best play on that, I'm going to say the over just because they both can score. So I'm leaning towards the Cleveland side, but if you want my favorite play on the game, it's the over. And I heard you say the Jacksonville game, you're pulling them to cover.
Yeah, but that's one I'm not touching.
So I'm all in on Philly this year. But however, they have been shut out the second half the last 2 weeks. So I can agree with that, but can we also agree that that's risky?
It's very risky. I don't think anyone should be touching that game. I feel like we need more information on both of those teams, even though the Eagles, they've been phenomenal. So
they really have been. I don't really know much about Herbert's injury. Somebody else just wrote me and asked me that real quick. I love Herbert, and I hope, and I would think he could cover this, but
they got to change the game plan. They can't be throwing that shit 50 times a game if the dude's got a cracked rib. We got to use our head a little bit. And I thought Brandon Staley passed that point. Listen, okay, I know they lost that game against the Chiefs, still covered, but lost. But that was a more mature coaching performance that I saw from them, and they were one play away from winning that game. Yeah, came up short like they did a lot last year. But damn, I thought we were going to see a more mature Brandon Staley. I thought we were going to see him show a little bit more patience. I'm more worried about the two offensive line injuries. Left tackle's out, Lindsay out at center. I'm worried about that, although I do think they recover here, but the Texans have their limitations.
Well, Bosa being out worries me a lot too. And so, I mean, that right there is –
They got Khalil Mack. And isn't J.C. Jackson out? Although they got depth in the secondary, and Texans just throw to Cooks, but it's still an issue.
Yeah. Where is that game? Is that in Houston?
Yeah.
Okay. So that game's a lot of games scare me this week, but I mean, if you want I told this guy just now I would give you my idea. I'm very high on Washington this week.
Got you. Yeah, I think that's how we should end it. Player props video coming next week. We got to pick a time. I want to get it uploaded Friday, if possible.
Okay, so do it on Thursday night.
Yeah. Before
you want to have it up before this live show,
or after. It wouldn't be the worst thing in the world.
Okay,
but yeah, that's when I want it up. If we have to do it Saturday, just try to do it early, get it up Saturday. Won't get a lot of views because these things build over time, but it's going to be worthwhile and people want it. So
yeah, and somebody just asked me too. I think Chris Olave is going to be a good bet for the Saints with Michael Thomas being out. Obviously, he's been a good bet with Michael Thomas even being there. So he's definitely going to get, pending Andy Dalton. But I think it's going to be a very big I think it's going to be a very big run game for Kamara. Hopefully he makes it right. Someone just asked me that too. And then someone else just asked me what I think would be something that happens. He said, what do you think, what could be a situation that might happen in the Saints game? I think Taysom Hill's a part of it. I think Taysom Hill runs it in. I think you're going to see Andy Dalton start this game, but I think you're going to have last year's Taysom Hill play this game too.
Yeah, we'll see.
We'll see.
Thank you for coming on.
You're welcome. Thanks, guys, for having me. It's always a pleasure.
Yeah, have a great weekend.
Yep, good luck to everyone.
What's up, man?
What is going on, man? How you doing?
Yeah, congratulations on calling the shot last week. 2 for 2 with the college shots this year.
So I'm out in Detroit. I'm going to cross over to Toronto tomorrow. I got a sister out there. So I'm in Detroit Lions territory. But I talk trash. The Lions are the Lions. But they're doing actually better than most people expected. Let's see if they can make the playoffs and not choke. That's the key.
Well, Lions always choke, man. And they're getting some bad luck with the injuries. They should take care of business this week against the Seahawks, especially that it worked down.
Yeah. All right. So here's my pick. You want to go? Do you want to throw that money slogan at me, and I'll throw the pick?
Okay, money.
Raiders, Las Vegas Raiders, the Raiders. The Raiders are winning this game by more than 3 points. This is a must-win. They're at home. The Raiders are really not a bad team. If you look at what are they, 1-2?
They're 0-3.
0-3. They could have been 3-0.
Agreed.
So, and I had the Raiders as one of the competitive teams in the AFC. They're not starting off 0-4. They're not starting off 0-4. If there's money that you want to increase on a game, I'm taking the Raiders. So, I think you got the Raiders too, don't you?
Yeah. When I picked it Tuesday, that was one of the games where I felt like it was a favorable line, and I would think that they're going to play better. Like you said, they've been close in damn near every single game, getting Renfro back. They even were able to put up a lot of yards without him last week. But, yeah, man, I think Raiders respond. Really worried about it, though. Don't know if it's going up on Patreon, but it's one of the ones I'm considering. Injury report doesn't look that bad, and we need to talk about the Broncos because they've looked terrible. It's great when you get to play the Seattle Seahawks and the Houston Texans and have Jimmy G run out of the back of the end zone, but that's some good luck and that's some good home cooking. If the Raiders played the Texans and Seahawks, they would have 2 wins. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that whole hype about the Broncos and watch out Buffalo, watch out KC. We got a new team in the AFC that's gonna get the F out of here. Take that shit somewhere else. Come on, man. Get that out of here. And you know what? Watching Cincinnati yesterday, I had money on Cincy. They did cover for me. But that was a horrible win. I mean, Miami could have snatched that game. Miami had so much chances with a backup quarterback. And listen, Joe Burrow has no chance facing a team that has a solid defense. He's going to be eaten alive.
And that's what I'm saying. I don't think I was wrong in anything I said about Cincinnati. And now people had to sit in front of that film on Thursday night and realize, like, listen, like, Burrow magic is great, but that shit runs out in this league really fast.
Correct. Listen, Joe Burrow is going to have a few good passes in any game, maybe every game. But if you psychologically is a quarterback where you're going to get sacked 3, 4, 5 times and you're facing more and better solid teams, you're not going to the fucking Super Bowl. You're not. So
yeah, man. And their defense, that defense is also vulnerable. Of course, without Tua, they didn't get a chance to take advantage of it because, you know, Teddy, like, he is what he is. But yeah, Dolphins could have easily won that game. I'm not using that to cover my ass.
Yeah.
Because like credit to Bengals, they knocked him out. I don't like seeing it, but they knocked him out, and he was a walking liability. But yeah, I agree with what you're saying from Cincy, and like I've been saying this whole video, I'm worried about the run game.
Yeah. No, that was a clean hit. I mean, he got sacked, he got hit. Unfortunately, his head hit the ground. He got a concussion. So, I mean, that's old school football. That's how it was in the 90s, you know?
Yeah, way crazier back then.
And listen, Skip Bayless always says this, and I got to agree with Skip on this. If there's one man I do not bet against on Sunday, that is Thomas. Is it Jefferson Brady?
Oh, Thomas. Yeah, I don't know. I think, I forgot.
He has a middle name or something Skip Bayless always throws out. I ain't betting against Tom Brady. Give me TB at home. And listen, Tom Brady's had a good 3 games, but he has no fucking weapons. The defense is solid. And listen, you know me, I live in Kansas City, and I keep a close eye on the Chiefs. They're not the same, man. They're really not.
Because everyone wants to act like a wide receiver isn't important, and you lose Tyreek Hill. Come on, man. Like Tyreek Hill might be one of the best players in the league. Like
Tyreek Hill, man, was the reason Miami was in that game yesterday.
100%. And they roll coverage his way, and it doesn't make a damn bit of difference. He's so damn good, man. And acting like you can replace him with like Juju Smith-Schuster and Sky Moore is like kind of fucking disrespectful to the evolution of the NFL in this current year with these wide receivers who are absolute dogs.
Yeah, I agree. Listen, Tyreek Hill was the guy who gave the Chiefs the 20, 30-yard play. Kelsey cannot give you that. And you're seeing that Kansas City is missing out. Listen, Mahomes was famous for getting these big plays. And if you look at the last 3 games, we're not seeing it, man. There's that vacuum Tyreek Hill has caused. And I think the Bucs defense, brother, they are scary, man. They don't mess around. These guys will come and they're ready to eat.
It's the best Tampa defense they've had, and I was shocked by it.
I love that defense, man. And if the old quote defense wins you games, man, Sunday night if that's the case, Tampa's winning Sunday night. If I'm betting, and I'm probably gonna bet a little bit. I'm a Tom Brady fan. I think Tom Brady wins.
Well, and just to go back to your first point, there's only so much someone can do against a very good Packers defense. I do think people are forgetting that. Like, if you talk about like corner depth, like they got some of the best corners in the league. You got Scotty Miller and Cole Beasley. Cole Beasley had like 2 days of practice off the couch.
He didn't show up, man.
Yeah, man. No. And like, listen, and I was really disappointed when Julio Jones missed that game. It's just like, okay, like we get it. Like I got excited about him because I'm a big Julio Jones fan. He comes back, he doesn't even play. But I love the Bucs pick. Mike Evans, we know he's going to be in. So that makes me feel a little bit more comfy.
Yeah, Tom Brady. Listen, Tom Brady's the type of guy, he'll give out energy, but if there's no energy on the field, that does affect his game. And you saw those 2. I mean, Tampa Bay, the only reason they lost was those 2 turnovers those wide receivers had. He threw the ball right in their hand. They caught the ball and they fumbled it on scoring drives. So with that said, man, I love Sunday night football games when we get to watch Tom Brady and Mahomes, because we both know this could be the last year we see Brady on a big show. I'm going to get the popcorn out and I'm going to get the beer out, man, and I'm going to enjoy my Sunday night. So
yeah, man, it's nice having a good Sunday night game. There's nothing worse than a Monday night game, like, Cowboys, Giants. And,
that was horrible.
We might as well just go fucking bat the scratch off at this point. Like, if we're watching, like, if we're trying to bet on like those 2 teams, it's just bad. And like, it's good we get a good game on Sunday night. I'm pumped for it, man.
All right, gentlemen, ladies, I'm gonna say it again. It is the Raiders. Okay, I'm behind the Raiders. Let's get this money, baby.
2 of 2 this year. So every time you came on here, actually 3 of 3 because you hit the Bengals over 25.5 last week as well. So credit, man. All right, yo, have a good day. Have a good day.
All right, man. Have a good one.
I like the shirt, man.
Hey, he's the GOAT.
All right, bro. Let's get to some YouTube questions. We're at almost a 2-hour point. If I didn't get your question, answer it. Ask it on YouTube. We pretty much covered everything. DP Reaction says Cowboys, Bills, Lions, money line. What do you think? I don't think the Cowboys win. Bills, Lions, I like. Parlays are very dangerous, though, because you could have the best week of anyone who's gambling, and you could still be down money. There wasn't too much of a Saints suck fest today, my man. There wasn't too much of it. Thank you for the super sticker, Megan. I really appreciate it. Here we go. And about the Raiders talk, thank you. I felt like it's a good show. You guys bring a lot of energy, so I'm ready to get these Patreon bets up. I'll have them up 9:30, 10 o'clock tonight. There's still some things I have to go through. I'm really looking forward to this week. Should be a fun week. I'm gonna try something. Okay, let's see. I'm gonna try something here. Last week we had the surprise with Don. Let's try something. Yeah, and the Saints-Vikings game, that's really tough to be. And I try to remove myself from that situation. And the Saints game against the Panthers was absolutely terrible. So if you're thinking about putting big money on them, I would seriously double check your mind right now, because I don't think the Saints are a terrible team by any means, but that Panthers performance was scary bad. Doesn't get much worse than that. Here we go. Let me get to some questions. Yeah, and the whole people talking about the public versus, the public bet fit like 55%. A lot of people think that. I don't look into that. And we found on Patreon this year that doesn't make a damn bit of difference. How's it going, man?
I'm doing great. Okay, Lawson, can I ask you something about my picks this week?
Sounds good. Thank you for coming on.
Quick one. I have the Tampa Bay Bucks to win in the cover over Kansas City. I know it'll be a tough game. I'm definitely gonna watch it on Sunday night. Okay, but I was looking. But they were saying they might relocate it to Minnesota, but I know it gave it beat Tampa. But I'm worried about the Hurricane.
So are you talking about Saints Vikings?
I'm talking about Chiefs Bucks.
Oh, Chiefs Bucks. The Hurricane's gonna miss it.
Yeah,
I don't think it's gonna.
Can I say one thing about you? I like to say something. Money. I like that. I like them. But I want to talk about the Vikings Saints game. When I watched Good Morning Football this morning, have you seen Good Morning Football?
Not today, but I try not to watch media coverage because it puts shit in my head and affects.
Well, I watched it this morning, and Jason McCoy. I'm glad he's on Good Morning Football. I give him credit, but Jason McCoy is a good announcer. He's awesome. Okay, hey, what do you think about a Jim Nantz and Tony Romo connection? What do you think about that?
Say that again. Jim Nantz and Tony Romo.
Yeah, and Jim Nantz on the CBS Broadcasting Sports. What do you think about that?
I don't like Jim Nantz, but I like Tony Romo. They wouldn't be my best crew. I have to go contrarian with this. I actually like Troy Aikman the most, but Tony Romo's a dog, man. I love Tony Romo announcing.
Yeah, I do like the Cook and Al Michaels. They're great people. They're great announcers. But I do like the Mike Tirico and Chris Collinsworth. They do a good job.
Now here's a guy. Yeah, I like Chris
Yeah.
Collinsworth too. Although he pushes the PFF stuff a little bit too much.
Right.
I'm not a fan of like stat guys. Although he's not too much of a stat guy, he just owns that company.
Okay, Lawson, can I just ask something about last week's games? I'm worried about the Green Bay Typical. I wasn't too happy about what Tom Brady did. I mean, he had no receivers last week. Cole Beasley did okay, but the line was bad last week. I mean, I was bummed about that game. I was not happy.
I agree, but I did tell you guys to stay away from him.
Can I say something about the last week? But that Monday night game, Cowboys fans, that was horrible. I would agree about that. But I think the Rams-Niners game would be good. I have the 49ers to win that game.
Is there a reason why?
I like Jimmy Garoppolo, but I feel bad for Trey Lance, man. He got hurt so bad. He was in pain. Okay, when I got home from Institute last night, Tua looked in pain, man. He looked in pain. Do you think Tua might be out for the season?
No, I don't. Because he did take the flight home, so they did diagnose him with a concussion. But I think he'll be back. He's not going to play the next game, but the week after. So we're going to get Theodore for another week.
Okay, for NFC East is a weak division, right? You agree about that, right?
Which division? AFC South?
NFC East with Cowboys. I hate the Commanders. It was a bad name with Daniel Snyder because Daniel Snyder is a horrible owner.
I agree. Daniel Snyder.
NFC East winner. I have the Eagles winning it this year.
Got you.
NFC,
okay, so what's your money pick of the week? Because I got to go eat some dinner.
So my money pick for the week is going to be between the Tampa Bay and Kansas City. I had Tampa Bay's money line. And for the other games, I had is Green Bay, New England, okay. And Green Bay's money line, I have Green Bay winning the cover. And for the Cowboys and Commanders, I have the Dallas. I have Cowboys to win, but Commanders to cover. Okay. And I give Bengals the credit, give that win. So let's give them credit. I agree. But for the Broncos, their offense line is so crappy. I'm like, their offense line is done. I don't like
Yeah. So Tampa Bay Chiefs is the money pick from Campbell. Thank you for coming on, my man.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Have a good night.
Like every Friday after I get home from work,
Sounds good, man. Sounds good.
Can I ask you a question?
Sure.
Who you got? Kansas City Chiefs or the Buccaneers on Sunday night? Who you got?
Buccaneers.
I'm with you. I agree. Do you think it'd be close? How close do you think it would be?
Within 7 points.
Yeah. Mahomes like a quarterback, but hey, do you want to hear something cool?
Sure.
I just got a brand new Madden game up for Xbox. Have you played Xbox before?
Of course.
I got Madden 23. And I have a question about it. Why they put John Madden as a cover? I don't get it.
Because he's a goddamn legend.
He is. But it's kind of sad he passed away, But I do have a couple of last words I should say, if you don't mind.
But yeah, Campbell, I gotta get some more questions in. We'll get you on next week.
Yeah, thanks for having me come on. And what time is your show next week?
Same time, 4:30 Eastern time.
Okay, I will come on like so I get home at work. So I get off work at like around 2, but I won't get home until like 2, 3, or 3. I will come on after that when I get home.
Sounds good. I'll talk to you soon, Campbell.
Yeah.
That was Campbell. Man, he was persistent. He's been sending me about like 5 emails a day for the last 3 weeks. He got on here, man. Credit to him. All right. Any last questions before I go? We're at the 2-hour point. Thank you guys for watching the show. Make sure you hit the like button, share the videos. Yeah, this show's getting crazy. Don last week was awesome. Campbell went hard here. Went hard. Yeah, Campbell for president, man. Yeah, I agree. I agree. Get that man a political party. All right, hit the like button, share the videos. Thank you, guys. Have a great weekend. Patreon bets will be up 9:30, 10 o'clock. Tough week. I'm going to go through the games. Let's get this money.